let's talk about Chelsea now. When is it going to stop? When is the, should I call it, I don't know what to call it, but when is the influx going to stop? Because it seems like every transfer window, they are rebuilding, signing players, up on players. And at the end of the day, even the ones they signed have not played up to a season and a half. There are talks of them being sold. Now we hear Noni Madueke, if a good offer comes, he might be moving away from Chelsea. And, nobody is spared. We know what happened to Modric, even though this is off football now, the doping issue and stuff like that. Jadon Sancho, though he was on loan, came to Chelsea and stuff like that. So when is it going to stop? Should Chelsea fans be worried? Are they doing the right thing? Are they making the right signing? Or are they just scrambling in the market, like going for players? Because these players are not, they signed so many young players, no experience at the end of the day. So when is it going to stop? Are they doing it right? What's the strategy for Chelsea when it comes to transfers?
As an Arsenal fan, I do not have the moral high ground to criticize Chelsea as a fan. As a football analyst too, I think that I'm going to sit here and say to you that whether we like it or not, there is a utopia world that we create. There is a standard that we all put up there. This is the umbrella. This is how every club should be. If every club is like that, nobody will win a title. Nobody will lose a title. It will be, everything will be equal. Everybody will have the same point. The same. So there is a rise and fall for every stock. No stock goes up forever, whether it's Twitter stock, whether it's X, whatever the SpaceX, whatever this stock is. Sometimes the curve will come down and then it'll go up again, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's blockchain, whether it's cars, EVs, and the rest. So I think that Chelsea enjoyed it 20 years under Roman Abramovich. Forcefully ejected from the club, death threat and all that. And then these guys came in who grew up with NFL, basketball, mindsets. A man is a product of his environment. Until you give me proof otherwise, I would believe in that philosophy. Now, you cannot just come from America. The fact that he's working for Wrexham and you think it's going to work for everybody, because if you come from America and say Arsenal is suffering the effect of an American running the club. You can see the American teams that they are running in the US and Canada winning titles, but Arsenal is still not winning and they're still doing the same thing and expecting a different type of result. It's sad, but I think that the owners and the management of Chelsea are learning on the job. Not every learning on the job takes overnight. You came into media and within 6 months you were already a pro. Some other persons have been in media for 10 years and they still make schoolboy mistakes. So not everybody is the same. To grasp the complexities of European football and also be thinking about profit is hard. One thing I'm going to give the Chelsea owners credit for is that they were the first to hack the system. To find a way where you can sign this much players and not fall far of PSRO. They the first, or FFP, they're the first to hack it well without cooking the book. Even when they try to cook the book by selling their female team and rebuying it, whatever manipulation they try to do, it still did not affect the club. But I think that eventually they will get it right. Remember how even as successful as the Roman era was, everybody was always complaining about the turnover of coaches. The longest serving coach was 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Why are they sacking coach today? They employ Roman Abramovich. Jose Mourinho. Tomorrow is Carlo Ancelotti. The other one is Luis Felipe Scolari. Then Gus Indig. Then AVB. Then Roberto Di Matteo. But for as long as they were winning titles, nothing was wrong. This same team with the Poultry that they are signing and the fish farm that they have, if they were winning titles, if they had gone on to win maybe Champions League, major titles, I should say, because they won the Conference League. They win the FA Cup, they win the League Cup, they win the Premier League, and then go and compete in the Champions League and win it. Nobody's going to see anything wrong with it. The only reason people are complaining is because they are not winning title. But let's look at it from the objective of these guys are people who don't have history in managing football club. These guys are people who also, in the process of managing football club, now with Chelsea, they also want to bring in profiteering into the conversation, and that's what they are doing. They've taught everybody now how to spread your payment of players transfer in such a way that it doesn't hurt your pocket, it doesn't hurt your PSRO. Your question, I've been avoiding dancing around it, is when will it stop? I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. They are going to each hike their way to success and then create a new model I think that's what they're trying to do. Roman Abramovich came and created a new model of hiring and firing coaches, paying over the top incentive to players, and president of club walking into a dressing room and changing the narrative, making sure players win. That was a new style. It was new in England at the time, but it worked. So I think these guys are going to hitchhike their way, dance around all of these things that are doing. In statistics in MBA, when we're doing statistics in master's class, they'll tell you we study substitution by elimination. And the whole concept of substitution by elimination is, for instance, if 2 is your highest number and you're looking for more, but you cannot have more than 2 numbers, you have to give away 1 number to add another number. And if it is all even, for instance, let's say 0, 2, then the next one is supposed to be 4. But you cannot have 0, 2, and 4 because now you now have 3 numbers. You have to pick 1 number to eliminate, and to eliminate you take away 0, you add 4, so you have 6 in terms of volume. What you cannot add again is 8 because you can't put something lesser than 6 now. It's substitution by elimination. At some point they will juggle it and then find a perfect mix. They are not far from it. Chelsea are not far from it. If you look at what Manchester United,
they're not?
No, I don't think they're far from it. Let's assume that last season was a very horrible season. In a horrible season, they won the Conference League because you can only play or fight who is in front of you. You can only play in the competition that you're qualified to be in. In that season, they made it to the Champions League by making the top 4 in the English Premier League or top 5 or whatever they ended, but they qualified for the Champions League. As we're speaking, they're playing in the World Club Championship. If they win this World Club Championship, they would have been a lot more even successful than Liverpool, who won the Premier League. You understand? In this season gone by. Now, let's just say hypothetically they win it, and then they are playing in Champions League next season. What they would have done is, in a horrible season, like Madrid fans will always say, in the best moment of Barcelona, they won more Champions League than Barcelona. Right? So, in the horrible state that they are in, they're playing in the World Club Championship. Your best teams that are having the best season of their life, are not even in that competition. People can say whatever they like about the competition, but it's an opportunity for them to win something. They won the Conference League. They made it to the Champions League. Most teams would give anything to qualify for the Champions League next season. So if you look at that, that's seemingly success on one front. So if they go on this season and guarantee, before the season end, they're not praying to God save our soul. They're not sending SOS. They're not shouting maybe they qualified. Maybe they make it top 3, top 2 in the league. And then, in the Champions League, get all the way to the semifinals. We did their poultry farming. The model is already looking like a success. The reason why Chelsea fans are bitter or frustrated or angry is they went from 50 years of waiting for the Premier League title. That's the club that they were.
Yeah.
Under previous owners, to a club who cannot go 2 seasons without winning a major trophy, whether it's the FA Cup, is the league title, is the Carabao Cup, is the Champions League or UEFA Cup or something, but they can't go 2 or 3 seasons. I can't remember them going 3 seasons without winning a major trophy. So they are spoiled to that point where that's how Man United fans are like as well. But let's not forget that some teams have gone 50, 70, 30 years without winning anything. We've been talking about Arsenal, that they are rejuvenated. Arsenal have not won a major trophy since 2004, only FA Cup, 5 FA Cup or so. So if you look at it carefully, before you say, Chelsea are doing badly, you should realize that what is badly by the high standard of Chelsea is success by any other club. Where Chelsea are today, Newcastle will give anything to be there. Bournemouth will give anything to be there. Before anybody say, they are not the same, they are the same, they are playing in the same league. All right? It's just times that are different. And look at Man United today. Man United will do anything to win a European trophy and be in the top 4 playing in the Champions League. It helps their ability to negotiate for players that they want to sign and also help their marketing. They will not be paying back sponsors. So, in this case, success is relative. Would it stop? I don't think so.
So the whole strategy, talking about the whole strategy, signing young players, you maybe unproven, still very young, bringing them together in that Chelsea squad.
But can't you see that is changing? You can't say Pedro is unproven. Mikhailo Modric unproven. Sancho was not unproven, even though he came on loan. Cole Palmer unproven. Nicolas Jackson unproven. But you can see the trend of their transfer now. They are correcting it. Yes, you will say they signed, what's this young striker that he brought on? Delap. But between you and me, I was also begging for Arsenal to sign Delap. I think that Delap is not Wayne Rooney, but is a top striker. Given the motivation, would be a nightmare to a lot of opposition. Why not have him Cole Palmer and build the next generation. Let's be very honest. When you have a new owners, look at all the teams that came in with new owner. Man City, they signed a flurry of players and keep grooming those players till they got what they got in Pep. They started with Pellegrini, huge, and they kept on going like that. Even Chelsea was signing everybody. Sean Wright Philly, Michael Essien, Didier Drogba, everybody. They were signing everybody at one time. It's the same thing. Only Arsenal got new owners and didn't sign players that much. They were just bringing young players because they had the 350 million debt that they were paying for moving to the Emirates Stadium in 2006. But other than that, look at Newcastle. Newcastle that will sign only 2 players in one window. Look at how they're doing now, even with all the restrictions that they've got. So teams that have new owners always sign pool of players. When Leicester City found new owners, they signed a plethora of players, and we saw what happened. Nottingham Forest signed 15 players or more, like MPFL claims, in one window. So when you get money, you go shopping. Right now, that's what they are doing, but they are managing it properly. A time is going to come where they will go from just signing young players to now picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 experienced players in every window. I remember the famous heritage interview of press conference ranting of Jose Mourinho, where he talked about the heritage that they have at Man City, the heritage they have at Liverpool, the heritage they have at Real Madrid, Barcelona, and the rest. And Man United didn't have that heritage. It is that heritage that Chelsea are building now. It's going to take time, but they are building it. Not everybody, all of these young players that they are signing will be dead on arrival. Some would improve, some will be better. Even under Jose Mourinho, they signed Bolaruz, Khalid Bolaruz. They signed Adrian Mutu. They signed Crespo. They signed some players that did not fit in. The reason why they are not, talked about is because they immediately went on a winning spree. So people forget all those players that came in and didn't do well. You can't tell me that Sean Wright Phillips was a hit. It wasn't really a big hit. Even with Man City, Kevin Phillips is not a hit. Philip also went to Man City. Not a big hit. There are certain players that came in that were not hit, but because they're winning. The thing about winning is like having money. Money stop nonsense, so they say. So winning stop nonsense, it stop banter, it stop rubbish talk. Look at Paris Saint-Germain. When they didn't win the Champions League, people called them a team in the Farmers League. Until that team in the Farmers League, en route to winning Champions League, beat 4 teams from the Premier League: Man City, Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Arsenal. And then people start saying, Paris Saint-Germain can come to the Premier League and win it. But then they used to have Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. People said they cannot come to the Premier League and win because they've not won the big trophy in front of them that they were playing in the Farmers League. But in this year that they won the Champions League all of a sudden, because they beat 4 teams in England, beat an Italian team, the defending champion of the Italian Serie A, all of a sudden they say they can come to any league in the world, maybe apart from the La Liga, and win it. So you look at this thing, you say, what changes is winning a title. It's not really the mode of how they do business. Nobody really care about how you do business. It is what you win with that how you do business. And if you do business even the wrong way, but you start winning titles, that wrong way become the new way. You know how they say any mistake is a new style if you know how to carry yourself well with the mistake. There is no clear-cut system of how a club should be run. I do not believe that the Madrid way is the ultimate way. I do not believe that the Barcelona way is the ultimate way, the Arsenal way, the Tottenham Hotspur way. There is no way that's the ultimate way.
It's what works for you.
What works for you. 2, 3, 4 seasons ago, Liverpool are described as a team that would not spend much. They invented the term net versus gross. Yeah. Are we going to have that statement now? They just bought a player who's not really proven. He's got 1.5 wonder season, and you spend 115 million to sign him in a window where everybody's trying to play below the 100 million bar. You just raise it up to that, and then you're signing these other players. If they not go on next season, Liverpool doesn't win anything, it becomes a problem. They say, and his slot cannot win title. He won with Jurgen Klopp players. Now he has brought his own players, spend money. They start counting money on his head the way they're saying as Arteta spent 700 million. That's the way it goes. If Arteta spent that 700 million, and he had won the last 3 Premier League titles, as the way it's progressed, everybody said, man, this guy is a magician. Look at what he's done. Blah, 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 blah. What Wenger couldn't do in his last 12 years. What Wenger has not been able to achieve. Blah, 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 blah. This is the best way. This is not how you run a club. No wonder he left from Pep. But because he's not one, maybe he cannot manage big players. His ceiling is low. He's capped at average players. That's the way it always is. Result. legalize or validate even the wrong thing. Isn't that why people sing praises of politicians? You know that the politician is a criminal. He's running the nation down. Like I said last episode, all our national heroes are criminals. People we give public national holidays, people on our notes, on our currency, criminals if you investigate their history. But they have money. They're rich. I was asking one guy the other day, why don't we have like a Ty Solari or some really decent people, Beko Rasam Kuti? Why don't we have them on our Naira note? Why don't we have them, the true heroes,
being celebrated?
Being celebrated. They are not seen as nationally rich. It's not like they were poor, but they were not seen as nationally rich. And in a country that's a crime scene, a crime enterprise, to celebrate men of integrity, principled men, is an anti-establishment, anti-normal. So we can name stadium over people who help devalue our naira, who help kill our currency, make them the symbol of democracy. How do you give? You understand? So it's the same thing with football. Once the system start getting results, it's the best way. People were winning La Liga and Champions League with a Barcelona system that is destroying the club. But for as long as they were winning, it was good. Until the cookies crumble and we now find out that, these guys are in this much debt because of the system they were running. Nobody saw that system as bad when they were winning. Nobody saw signing of Coutinho bad until the result was not coming in. Then we start seeing it's bad. So I think for Chelsea, they will figure it out as they go. Next summer, they will not sign like this. They will gradually start fixing it. One big player here, one big player there. The team clicks and the result is good. But I think that Chelsea also needs to change their coach. I don't think, because
I was about to go there on the manager's perspective. Enzo Maresca, how do you please all these players coming in together?
These are small players. You can please anybody. A coach does not need to please player. A coach needs to set out a work plan.
Some of these small players tend to throw the most tantrums.
If you throw your tantrum, I kick you out of the team. Especially when you have a Poultry like the Chelsea team, you'll be grateful to God that you're playing. Again, you need an authority, a power. This type of thing when you have small players like this, you need a man who, you think the Paris Saint-Germain players would have respected Luis Enrique if he doesn't have the profile of saying, I've managed Neymar, Suarez, Messi, and I've won the treble. I won 6 titles in one season with these guys. Who the hell are you? Yes, he's going to tell them that there's no player in the team who's won what is won. So it works. If a senior type coach walks in through the dressing room, there's the way you sit, the way you behave, the way you carry yourself is different from when a Arteta walks in and Aubameyang is looking at him like, who be this one? Kilele, where you from come? Who be your papa? Who be your mama? What be your name? You won't do that if a Carlo Ancelotti who does not even talk tactics, who just come in and tell you, boys, you've been winning before, you know what to do, go to the field and do what you have to do. And Arteta would even share you more tactics than a Carlo Ancelotti. But Carlo Ancelotti is a serial winner. So when he comes in, why do you want to question his way? The way that he has applied that have won him a lot of things, right? So all those things comes to play. I think that Chelsea needs a gaffer, a coach that comes in and players just sit up. A coach does not need to, you know how they say that if you have to remind me that you are somebody, then you are not anything, right? So it's just, the right manager coming in, it will fuse these guys together and put them in a war mode where they are ready to battle. I've not seen that with Enzo Maresca. I think that Enzo Maresca is just enjoying the fact that in his CV, Chelsea is there. In his CV, there's a coach at Chelsea. I don't see him being the guy who walks in through that dressing room and players who are supposed to be sitting are standing, players who are supposed to be paying attention are making noise, and then he can just clear his throat and everybody will be in order. I don't think he's that kind of guy.
Well, for Brighton, they've made so much money off Chelsea in recent years, from Sanchez
the
supermarket
of
Levi Colwill, Caicedo, and now there's João Pedro.
Sanchez as well.
There's just this one club you always go and poach their players, for respective.
But for as long as they're paying big money, I don't think that Brighton will bother.
They won't bother at all.
They'll keep stepping up players, laying their alley-oop for them to slam dunk.
Well, Chelsea fans, exciting times for you. But for those of you who are still wanting Osimhen at your club, I think this just ends the Osimhen talk, because there's Delap, there's João Pedro, and there's still Nicholas Jackson. So Chelsea will wait to see what happens this coming season as we go.
Are you saying Osimhen is not going to go to Chelsea anymore?
Where is he going to play?
João Pedro is not in the same.
João
Pedro is not in the same
and
conversation
Jackson.
with Osimhen.
No, I'm not
we
trying
can
to
say a
put them
lot of things about Osimhen, but João Pedro, Osimhen.
No, I'm not trying to put two players together now. In terms of where does Osimhen fit in with these three players already in the club,
If
so
he
it's going
comes
to be a
into,
loss
if he
for
comes
the
into the
manager.
team, he's the number one striker. The others would seek for place to play. When Osimhen is tired, they come in as sub. One player that is a very good buy by Chelsea, Liam Delap. Delap is a very good buy. I'm singing this thing now. People look at me like, what are you saying? We'll see it. If he doesn't get injured, that's one player that eventually they might sell for 120 million.
All right, well said.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.